Hello there everyone, I hope you're all doing well. Today I thought I would share with you one of my all-time favorite traditions, practices, spells for fall. This spell serves as a protective door charm. This is specifically seasonal to fall, and this one is also very regional for me, and I'm sure it will fit into many of your regions, but I do encourage you to use what you have growing in abundance around you and tie it to the nature of where you're living. I'll delve more into that as we go into the details of this spell, but all in all, I find this to be just a really enjoyable craft, and it helps set that shift to the new season. Now, before I get too far into this, I do want to mention, if you haven't seen already, I do have another channel where I share vlogs of my day-to-day life, more magic, herbalism, nature, all that good stuff. It is linked down below if you're interested. And also, if you can and would like to, I'd really appreciate it if you checked out my Patreon. There I share art, herbal profiles, book recommendations, recipes, and monthly workshops on a topic you all choose. They're a ton of fun, it's a live stream format, and it's just a really great way to have an interactive lesson. And it is available for 2 weeks after the live stream if you are unable to make it. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, or if you just want to help support this channel, I would really appreciate it. It is what keeps things running over here, and I couldn't be doing this without the support of you all over there. But of course, no pressure if you can't or don't want to. Just thought I would promote it a little bit. All right, anyways, let's get into this video, shall we? Like I said, I make this charm every year, and in truth, I make seasonal door charms every season. I guess that's in the name, seasonal door charms. My practice is very heavily aligned with the nature around me, and thus the seasons and their shifts. And through my years of practice, I have found that maintaining seasonal rhythms, seasonal practices, it just aids in amplifying and harmonizing my spell work as it works in tandem with the nature and energies that are currently in abundance. Thus, these door charms change pretty much every 3 months or so, depending on the seasonal shifts. And of course, the herbs change every single time. And similarly, the preparation. In the fall, I prefer to make wreaths. In the winter, I like bundles. And in the spring, I often will either do a bundle or a spell bag. And then summer is up for grabs, as there are many, many options of herbs to use. But basically, depending on what I can get my hands on and what is in current abundance, that's what drives the base of the spell. So use what's around you, be inspired by the protective herbs that you have close by, and work with what feels right. But of course, you can make exactly what I've done or use it as a base. So let's get into the exactness of this specific charm. So for this charm, you will need blackberry vines woven into a wreath. Make sure the thorns are still intact, rose hip sprigs with the thorns still, and some chrysanthemum flowers. Blackberry vines, and specifically the thorns, are fierce protectants. Roses with their thorns are also wonderful protectives, but I find them to be kind of a little more caring in their protection. It's fierce in a loving way, and I find that this specific inflection works really well for protecting your home, your loved ones, your animals, anything that has a little bit of extra care. Blackberry vines are hard in their protection, whereas rose tends to be just a little more fluid and caring and careful. And I find combining these two, even though they are both thorny plants, they have these different inflections, and it just kind of rounds out that energy. And finally, I added chrysanthemums because they are my favorite fall protective herb. I have been drawn to them my entire life, and I would not dream of crafting a fall protectant without them unless I absolutely cannot get my hands on them. So to begin this craft, cleanse your area if this is something that you do. You don't really have to cleanse for something of this nature all the time. This is a simple enough spell that if your space feels all right, I tend to think that it's all right to keep crafting. But of course, it's up to you if you want to spend some time grounding. Do whatever you need to do to feel in the proper mindset to begin working magic. Then gather all of your materials and simply begin crafting. Prior to filming, I had already crafted the wreath of blackberry thorns. I crafted it from the blackberry vines that grow around the cabin. I highly recommend wearing gloves to weave the branches together, but it can be done with pliers and some careful work, but gloves make it much, much easier. And to craft the rest is pretty easy. Just tuck all of your other herbs around in whatever way seems the most pleasing. The herbs themselves can be fresh or dried, whatever is most convenient, though I will say that I don't recommend hanging the wreath on the door until the vines have been fully dried, otherwise it might lose its shape a little bit. But anyways, once you have the entire wreath crafted, all of your things put together, spend a moment infusing your intent. This kind of should be done throughout, just protective energies and maybe the specifics of the energy that each herb is bringing to the table, and then hang it on your door. You can keep it up here till the next season. You may, if it seems to not be doing as good of a job, sometimes I like to go over it with a smoke cleanse. I found that kind of helps clear away some energy if it's collected a lot. And isn't quite doing its job anymore. But once the season is up, I usually take it down and dispose of it. I personally like to craft new ones each season. If you want to keep it, you could cleanse it with a smoke cleanse or another favored cleanse that would help clear away the energy that it has collected over the course of the season. You may also wish to just keep the wreath base, and you can do that taking out the other herbs, but similarly cleanse. Or if you do wish to dispose of it, I recommend either burying it or burning it outside. All of this can be up to you, what works best in your practice and what you're most comfortable with. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your patience while I recovered from surgery. I will be sharing a video on my other channel, kind of talking a little bit more about it. Not too much, but if you're interested in hearing about that, that will be over there soon. And yeah, thank you. I am so excited to be in fall and sharing more fall content, and yeah, favorite season. It's just great. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you again soon.